Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. வீடு விட்டீர் தூள வீடு புக்க பையவும் வீடு காட்டினையருள் அருணாச்சலா. வெளிவிட்டேன் உன் செயல் வெறுத்திடாதுன் அருள் வெளிவிட்டனை கா அருணாச்சலா. வேதாந்தத்தே வேறற விளங்கும் வேத பொருளருள் அருணாச்சலா. வைத்தலை வாழ்த்தா வைத்தருள் கூடியா வைத்தனை விடாதருள் அருணாச்சலா. அம்புவிலாலி போல் அன்புருவு நிலனை அன்பா கரை தருள் அருணாச்சலா. அருணை என்றெண்ணையான் அருட்கண்ணி பட்டேனுன் அருள்வலை தப்புமோ அருணாச்சலா. சிந்தித்தருள் பட சிலந்தி போர்க்கட்டி சிறையீட்டுண்டனை அருணாச்சலா. அன்போடும் நாமங்கேளம்பர்த்தம் அன்பரு கண்பன இடவருள் அருணாச்சலா. என் போலும் தீனரை இன்புற காத்தனி என்னாலும் வாழ்ந்தருள் அருணாச்சலா. என்புரு கண்பர்த்தங் மின் சொற்கொள் செவியுமின் புன்மொழி கொளவருள் அருணாச்சலா. பொறுமையங்கூதர புன்சொலை நன்சொல பொறுத்தருளிஷ்டங் பின் அருணாச்சலா. மாலையளித்தருணாச்சல ரமணையன் மாலையணிந்தருள் அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சலம் வாழி அன்பர்களும் வாழி அக்ஷரமணமாலை வாழி.
நமः பரமரிஷிभ्यो நமः பரமரிஷிभ्यः. ஹரி ஓம். அந்தராயதிமிரூபசாந்தயே சாந்தபாவனமச்சிந்த்ய வைபவம் தன்னரம் வபுஷி குஞ்சரம் முகே மன்மஹே கிம்பிதுந்திலம் மஹः. குருர்பிரம்மா குருர்விஷ்ணு குருர்தேவோ மகேஸ்வரः. குரு சாட்சாத் பரம் பிரம்ம தஸ்மை ஸ்ரீ குரவே நமः. ஈஸ்வரோ குருராத்மேதி மூர்த்திபேத விபாகினே व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. यस्यान्तन्नादिमध्यं न हि करचरणं नाम गोत्रं न सूत्रं नो जातिर्नैव वर्णा न भवति पुरुषो नानपुंसं न च स्त्रीं नाकारं नो विकारं न हि जनिमरणं नास्ति पुण्यं न पापम् तत्त्वं नो तत्त्वमेकं सहजसमरसं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् मौनव्याख्या प्रकटितपरब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानं वर्षिष्ठान्तेव सदृशिगणैरावृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपं स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीढे वेदान्तार्थविभासकायेतये शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादिनगेन्द्रसङ्घभवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने अपारसच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनां सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रं ह्यहमहमिति साक्षादात्मरूपेण भाति हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वता मज्जता वा पवनचलनरोधादात्मनिष्ठो भवत्वं शोणप्रभं सोमकलावतंसं पाणिस्फुरत्पञ्चशरेक्षुचापं प्राणप्रियं नौमि पिनाकपाणेः कोणत्रयस्थं कुलदैवतं नः चूडोत्तंसितचन्द्रचारुकलिकाचञ्जत्शिखाभास्वरो लीलादग्धविलोलकामशलभश्रेयो दशाग्रे स्फुरन् अन्तःस्फूर्जतपारमोहतिमिरप्राग्भारमुच्चाटयन् चेतः सद्मनियोगिनां विजयते ज्ञानप्रदीपो हरः शारदा शारदां भोजवदना वदनाम्बुजे सर्वदा सर्वदास्माकं सन्निधिं सन्निधिं क्रियात् राकाचन्द्रसमानकान्तिवदनां नाकाधिराजस्तुता मूकानामपि कुर्वती सुरधुनीनिकाशवाग्वैभवम् श्रीकाञ्चीनगरी विहाररसिका शोकापहन्त्री सताम् एका पुण्यपरम्परा पशुपतेः आकारिणी राजते योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचम् इमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्नाम् अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचलाम् अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचलाम् புல்லறிவேதுரை நல்லறிவேதுரை புல்லிடவே அருள் அருணாச்சலாம் பூமணம் மாமனம் பூரணமணம் கொள பூரணமணம் அருள் அருணாச்சலாம் அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலாம் अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचला. Last 9 days we had a very profound series on Bhagavan's Arunachala Aksharamanamalai, and today we are concluding for this year Bhagavan's Jayanti Aradhana, Jayanti worship is this that we are doing. So yesterday's Song is 68th song. Pullarivu Edurai, Nallarivu Edurai, Pullidave Arul Arunachala. This song we already saw yesterday. Turn the mind away from even knowledge that distracts you from self-enquiry. The knowledge that gives you absolute fearlessness is knowledge. Last song we saw Bhidiyil Unaishar, Bhidiyil Enaishir. It's a very beautiful song. If you simply take the message, Unaishar Bhidiyil. If I surrender to you, if I take refuge in you, there is no fear. Enaishir Bhidiyil. If I don't even have bhakti, but if I inquire within and know the self, then also there is no fear. Bhidi undanukku, why fear? Through bhakti also you can transcend fear. Through jnanam also you can transcend fear. Bhagavan gave only these two paths, either inquire or surrender. That's inquiry is surrender. Surrender is inquiry. When you outwardly surrender, inwardly inquiry begins. When inwardly you inquire, outwardly you will surrender. And what is the nature of the inquiry? What are you inquiring? It is not an intellectual process, a cerebration. It is investigating the I thought, wherefrom it arises. Because this Jiva Bhava is the first sprout of ignorance. So when it arises, wherefrom it arises? In deep sleep there is no I thought. When you wake up, the first thing that comes out is this I, then the entire mind spreads out. Vijrumbhade. The mind comes out. You, he, this, that, everything comes out. So where from this I thought arises, it needs tremendous introversion. Yesterday, don't forget what we said. The greatest power of blessing, anugraha, grace, is that the mind becomes deeply spiritually introverted. It's not manomukha avastha, it is antarmukha avastha. Manomukha means many people are introverted, but they will be in the dream world thinking something. But greatest blessing that Bhagavan gives us is this antarmukha. The mind is adequately introverted to observe the I thought, the pulsation of the I, the spandana of the I, the throb of the I within. And the very observation is inquiry. The very observation of this I thought, the moment you observe the aham vritti goes deep, dives deep into the source from where it arose. And there, what are you? You are that maunam. Naan udiyadu ulla nilai, naam aduvai ulla nilai. The state where the I thought does not function, does not arise, is the state where you are that. The Jiva Bhava is not covering the Swarupa, that pure experience, existence, I, awareness, peace, Mauna, everything is one. That Purnatva alone is. This is what Bhagavan formerly told Kalimayamai Nindra Nilai. Ni nan ara nidam Kalimayamai Nindra Nilai. The state where neither you exist nor I exist, only that Akhanda Bodha, that infinite pure awareness alone is. And this method, which neither makes you impulsive to think, nor makes you insensitive to sleep, take you to sleep. It is pure Tirtha. As Shankaracharya puts it, Mano Nivirtihi Paramopashanti Sa Tirthavarya. This is the Tirthavarya, the adorable pure Tirtha, sacred waters of pure awareness, where no cloud of ignorance is there, smoke of doubt is there. And no darkness is there. It is pure space, Chidakasha of Shanti. So when you trace the I thought to its source, or your mind is sufficiently refined to do that, it is antarmukha. All other sadhanas are only for that. Bhagavan's initiation is only that. Many devotees have told, one look from Bhagavan, Parth Arul. Parthilai, if you do not look at me with that look, how can I inquire? So Parth Arul, the moment you see and initiate me, this power to intuit the self will wake up. This power to inquire, investigate will wake up. This holding on to this I within will wake up. So that process, that ahangraha vidya, you can say ahangraha upasana, hridaya vidya, dahara vidya, which is not simply loading your intellect with a cartload of books, nor is it, that is why Pullarivu, he said Pullarivu means like grass growing, shrubs growing, weeds growing, you fill your brain with unnecessary knowledge, which instead of making you quiet, pal nool kudumbam. Bhagavan said, ordinary people have small family life, these people have great library of a family in their head. So, Pannul Kudumbam. So, that becomes great difficulty, Vikshepa, Vikalpa. The mind refuses to stay quiet in the heart. It never becomes Samahita. So, Nallarivu is that Arivu which Bhagavan has initiated us And Bhagavan has named it Dahara Vidya, Hridaya Vidya, Antarmukha, Naniyar Vicharam. These are all names given to it. And what is the Upadesha? Tirumbi aham tanai dinam aha kankan. This is the Upadesha. Tirumbi aham tanai dinam santatam shalipare santoshamagave kankan. Turn the attention inward every day, constantly, happily, without getting bored. Train yourself to keep that constant energy within you, and then make the innering habitual. In Tamil, it is translated, I am translating it as innering. Ulhudal, ulhal. Oyamal ulhuvor, ul olirum ullanai. In Tiruvachakam, Manikya says, Oyamal ulhuvor. Incessantly, restlessly, they make the mind go inward to the source, and in their heart, that luminous being shines forth. That effulgent Arunachala Jyoti, it shines forth. And that very method, which turns the mind to the source, to the Gomukha. The Gomukha, from where Ganga arises, that Gomukha is here. It is the heart, is the Gomukha. And that Gomukha, the Ganga goes, Jnana Pravaha Bimaladi Ganga Sa Kashikaham Nijabodha Rupa. You need not go anywhere. Kashi Kshetram Shariram. This body is Kashi Kshetram. Tribhuvana Janani Vyapini Jnana Ganga. This Ganga is this Jnanam inside you is Ganga. Tribhuvana Janani Vyapini Jnana Ganga. Bhakti Shraddha Gayeyam. Bhakti and Shraddha is Gaya. Nija Guru Charana Dhyana Yoga Prayaga. That Guru Charana Dhyana is Prayaga. Nija Guru Charana Dhyana Yoga Prayaga. Vishveshoyam Turiya Sakala Jana Managata Sakshi Bhuto Antaratma. That Shiva, Vishwanatha is the Turiya Vastu inside you. He is the Antaratma. Dehe Sarvam Madiye Yadi Vasati Punaha Tirtha Manyat Kimasti. When everything is there inside, in this body itself, why should I wander about here, there? Idam tirtham, brahmyanti tamasajanaha. Swatma tirtham na jananti, katham moksham shrinu priye. Mahadeva tells Parvati, in Devi Bhagavata he says, my dear, my beloved, these foolish people, deluded people, wander about this tirtha, this pilgrimage, that pilgrimage. The greatest purifying pilgrim center is there right here now where you are in the center. Without knowing that, where is that complete purification? So that knowledge to turn the mind inward to the source, to somehow guide the mind to the heart. The Garbhagraha is the heart, where you have the fetus, Karuvamahantai. Bhagavan uses the word Karuvamahantai. This Karu, real fetus, is this first sprout of this eye. And that happens in the heart, and that is the Garbhagraha. The cavern where the pregnancy happens, the pregnancy of knowledge also, pregnancy of enlightenment. There it happens. So you go and search for that seed in the heart, and there the mind ultimately, like a river entering the ocean, finishes its travel, its movement. There it ends up in fullness, in wholeness. Mind means plurality. Mind means duality. Mind is samsara. Mind is suffering. It is a sign of ignorance. Mind is the sign of ignorance, symptom of ignorance. Avidya means mind only. Nahyasti avidya manasotirikta. Manohi avidya bhavabandha hetuhu. Tasmin vinashte sakalam vinashtam. Vijrumbhidesmin sakalam vijrumbhade. When the mind comes out, all the problems come out. Sufferings come out. So when the mind becomes quiet, parohi yogaha manasas samadhi. The greatest yoga is when you find whatever knowledge you may accumulate, whatever you may gather, you will not feel contented, satisfied, till you find that your mind no more troubles you. When you find that there is problem outside and a solution inside, then you are free. The problem is there, the solution is also with you. It is dissolution of the mind. Once for all, if you can find that peace inside you, in your heart, that is what they call samadhi. That samadhi means knowledge, jnana. It is the true jnana of the self. Atma Swarupa is samadhi. So when you know your own self, your own real nature, and the mind is no more deluded that something is out there, something it needs to attain, something it needs to do, something it needs to experience, something to change. Chikirsha, jihasa, prepsa, titirsha, everything is gone. Then the mind abides in absolute contentment in the heart. You have to explore it. Do it in yourself. And that way of going to the source is Nalla Arivu. Bhagavan said, true knowledge, real knowledge, saving knowledge, healing knowledge, the knowledge which can absolutely heal you of all the troubles of samsara. Bhidyade hridaya granthi. All the knots of ignorance are cut asunder. Chidyande sarva samshayaha. All the doubts are rooted off. Chiyante cha asya karmani. All the actions, doership itself is removed. Tasmin drishte paravare. Drishtayeva atmani ishvare. When you see the Ishvara in your very beingness, that very moment, the Jiva Bhava, the individual sense is removed, there is absolute release. Don't you thirst for it, long for it? If you are really thirsting, longing for that attainment, then you are a mumukshu, you are an adhikari, you are qualified for this knowledge. That is the only qualification. When real viveka, discrimination is there, that your very intelligence is your eye with which you observe that you are surrounded by death. Mrityuhu dhavati. It is the orbit of death everywhere. And death is not giving up of the body. Death is suffering in various forms. Mrityoho rupani. The Upanishad says various forms of death. Limitation is death. In simple words, ignorance is death. And Bhagavan said, body is another name for death. This identity with the body is another name for death. Everything that limits us makes you the infinite being a single smallest alphabet in English language. It makes you identify with that smallest alphabet in language, I. And constantly, I, my problem, my family, I. It is sheer humiliation. Ignorance is real humiliation to that infinite truth which is in you. So when you know that, the knowledge of Vedanta, it's pure Vedanta. That is what Bhagavan has named this. Don't confuse it. There is no new set of knowledge. Vedantate veru ara vilangum veda porul arul Arunachala. He just concluded it. Bhagavan said, Arunachala is, you can have Arunachala anywhere, and real Arunachala is the Upanishadic wisdom. Vedanta means, Veda means knowing. Anta means end. Knowing is suffering. The knowledge which makes you grasp from the world is suffering. And the knowledge which makes you sleep is also suffering. So the knowledge which will make you free of this grasping and sleeping. This is, grasping is life, sleeping is death. Both are limitation in you. In the larger perspective, sleeping is avarana, grasping is vikshepa. And this goes on pendulating. And the chit that is you is nallarivu. In the very center, now here is the flame of Arunachala, which can remove all the problems. When such a knowledge exists, such a treasure house is there, why do you unnecessarily become insane? Asks Bhagavan. Paityam. He asks, Malai marundi idani malai tidavo. A mountain like herb is here. When one devotee asked Bhagavan, do you know Chintamani Vidya? You know Chintamani Vidya? There is a stone by which you touch any loha, any lead, iron, it becomes gold. They say that all the Siddhas, they know Chintamani Vidya. Bhagavan said, this very hill is a Chintamani. If you can make contact with the hill, your mind will become gold. If you, it is not simply, it is not enough that you are in Tiruvanamalai. Shankaracharya said, the same thing Bhagavan said, but it's a beautiful sloka, I remember. He said, simply going to Kashi is not enough. Those who in Kashi, only Kashi shines forth. And those who has known that Kashi alone have gone to Kashi. Did you understand anything? In Kashi, Kashi shines forth. Kashyam hi kashate Kashi. Kashi sarva prakashika. Kashi is the luminosity which illumines everything. Sa Kashi vidita ena. Those who have known that Kashi, tena prapta hi kashika. Only he has reached Kashi. So coming to Kashi means that which shines forth. Enlightenment, luminosity is Kashi. And that Kashi shines forth in this Kashi. And those who have known that Kashi have only arrived in this Kashi. So the mystic language is so profound and very clear, like that Bhagavan said, Tiruvanamalai is the Jyoti that shines forth in the Vedanta Shastra. And the Arunachala is shining forth inside you as Aham, Aham. And those who come to Tiruvanamalai have the benefit of seeking this I and abide in the real self. And only those who have come in contact with the real nature have come to Tiruvanamalai. So simply it is not that easy that you can get a bus, come here, go around and go back. Thillai veliginil kalandu kondaravar tirumbavum varuvaro. There is a song where it says, those who merge in the fire of Thillai, Chidambaram, they cannot return. That is what Bhagavan wondered when a person came from Tiruvanamalai. How is it possible that a person can come out from Tiruvanamalai? All the 64 saints, all of them did not come to Tiruvanamalai. Many people saw Arunachala from a distance, from Tirukkoyilu. Because there is a Puranic statement that you come to Tiruvanamalai. Actually, you come to Tiruvanamalai, you will not be able to go back. So as often as we go back, you have not arrived. So when you have actually arrived, the person will no more exist to go back. The I can no more arise to go back. Yadgatva nanivartante taddhama paramam mama. In Gita, Bhagavan said, by going where a person never returns, that is my abode. So if you are returning, you have not come. I am not talking about outside Arunachala. I am fully talking about outside Arunachala. Only if you have arrived in outside Arunachala, you contact Arunachala. If you have contacted Arunachala, you know that you are Arunachala. Only when you are Arunachala, you have come to Arunachala. So this is it. So the whole thing is Nallarivu. Bhagavan said this is true knowledge which puts an end to this extroversion of the mind, which is the cause for suffering. Vedanta means putting an end to extroversion. Veda means knowing. Anta means conclusion. We can translate in various ways. The mind going out itself is Veda. Whether to this world or to that world, anywhere. And Anta means the very knowing nature of the mind abides in the knower. Swabodha. In the knower it abides, and it finishes there because it has nothing to know. No other to know. Duri bhuta anya darshanaha. No anya darshana. Nothing other. No other to know. No other to grasp. In the pure self-luminous Swayam Prakasha Vastu, it ends. So that knowledge which makes that ekahuti complete, one ahuti, one offering in the fire, over, the yajna is over, that savana is over, That is nallarivu, the very auspicious knowledge. All other knowledge which makes you more and more distracted, more and more dissipated, and which leads you to stress, which leads you to more action, which leads you to more hunting for pleasure, which leads you to more and more knowledge, which is not giving you tripti. Vidyaranya Swami says tripti. The tripti is contentment, is samadhi. That kind of tripti you see in a jnani, a jivan mukta. How do you identify him? That tripti. The mind has found its home. It has reached its home. And the Shruti says, Havu. And what is that Havu? It says, Ahamannam. All these days I was different from matter. I was different from the object. Now the object, subject, everything is me. Nothing to do, nothing to go, nowhere, no space, no time. I am the enjoyer, I am the enjoyed. And all the duality has disappeared. There is great feeling of contentment, tripti in the heart. Antashitalata. The Yoga Vasishta says the heart becomes very cool. All the burning, blazing heat of samsara is no more there. There is very deep shanti. And when you are very, very serious about your spiritual quest, you are only for this knowledge, nallarivu. You are not here to add one more feather, one more certificate to yourself. You are here in genuine search, in true search, to find that shanti inside you. All distractions you give up. That is what Bhagavan here says. Turn my look towards that nallarivu. Let me not be distracted by pullarivu. One of the very simple devotee of Bhagavan, with whom Ganeshana was very, very close, is Natesh Iyer. Not a literate person, educated person. He was in Chidambaram. He had some trouble in his family, and then from there he moved to Tiruvannamalai. Actually, the divine guidance is always there. So when he went to Chidambaram, that beautiful figure of Nataraja, there he had an inner call. He heard a voice from that center, go to Arunachala. So he had no idea. He came to Tiruvannamalai. And in Arunachaleshwara temple, he came very simple person, uneducated person. The chief priest in the temple, he told him a very difficult job was given. That is to make sandal paste, chandanam. You make sandal paste for Arunachala. That is very difficult job. With full strength you have to do it. And that too not a little bit, very large quantity. So that he was doing. Because of that, I think he had the shiver in his hands after much effort. So one day somebody told, why are you after work staying here? Go round the hill, do Giri Pradakshana. So while doing Giri Pradakshana, he entered Ramanashram and had the darshan of Bhagavan, and that was all. Then he stayed in Ramanashram. At that time, he knew only one mantra, Om, Om. He used to say Om very often. Whatever People used to ask, he would say Om. And there was a very powerful mantra with him. If somebody asked him about anything, he will say, Enakku theriyadu. I do not know. That's all. Finished. Enakku onnum theriyadu. And no insult can also, I think, cannot affect him. Some people will tell something about him. If that news goes to him, avanukku onnum theriyadu. He also does not know anything. So this Ishvara has given that anugraha to him. And I is laughing because he is very familiar with that. So, anyway, one day he had a lot of trouble in the kitchen also because so many powerful women cooks were there, or very elderly people. They used to make him work. And he said, see, you should not escape from prarabdha. I escaped from one woman. And now I am caught with so many of them here. And one day he asked Bhagavan, many scholars have come, they were all having a dialogue with Bhagavan, conversation with Bhagavan. They were asking about Maya, Avidya, Jagrat, Sopana, Sushupti, many things they were talking, and Bhagavan was replying to them. And he was looking there, blinkering, not registering anything, not understanding anything. He was sitting amidst them. And after that, he asked Bhagavan, Bhagavan, enakku onnum theriyadu. He said, Bhagavan, I do not know anything. These people are very scholarly, they are able to ask you questions, but I do not even know how to ask. Then Bhagavan said, Theriyadunu theriyardo liyo. He said, you are able to understand that you are not able to understand. You are knowing that you are ignorant. Who is knowing that? That is enough. Perhaps this only initiated him. Theriyadun theriyardo liyo. I think that word became a power for him. Later on that became a mantra. Theriyadu, theriyadu, theriyadu. Anything comes from master becomes a mantra. Theriyadu. That is the initiation perhaps for him. So, this knowing many things makes the mind scattered, dissipated. And if the mind is alive and you stop it from knowing, it will go to sleep. That is life. So that also is not right. Sometimes great sadhakas, they get into such a state. Bhagavan has helped many to come out of it. And no, one great lady, Achamma Pati, who used to serve Bhagavan so much. One day Seshadri Swami also used to come to her house very often and take food. So one day Seshadri Swami came there and asked, Chamachande irtha poruma. Should you not meditate? Dhyanam panna vendama. Ipdiye samayal pandrathu saapidrathu iduve poruma. Simply cooking and eating, this is not enough. You have to meditate, he said. Swami, I do not know. Enakku theriyadu dhyanam. Ipdi okkaru. He said, sit like this. And he sat there for 5 hours. He sat there for 5 hours, and thus she was initiated to a state of yoga. And she used to sit like this. And that was, Seshadri Swami just demonstrated and went away. But she got into a state of habit of remaining in that yoga sthiti. One day, Bhagavan saw this. He said, this is not good. He said, Kunju Swami, he asked Kunju Swami to take her around the hill and talk to her about Atma Vichara. Consciously you should know the self. Don't get into any kind of liar. Be alert, vigilant, peaceful, shanta, nishala, and that knowledge which helps you to reach that state is nallarivu. That is true actual knowledge, that is real Vedanta. So Bhagavan says, Arunachala, Arul, by graciously bestow that knowledge to me, by which I will find true happiness in this complex life which brings in very, very strange problems. The more and more you become discriminative, intelligent, awakened, and see the life, the more and more you seriously long for true knowledge. You are no more asking for entertainment. You are no more satisfied by some sweet that you get here and there. You really want to put an end to this show. Once that kind of strength has come in you, then as Bhagavan said, be the ill unnaishar, I have come to you without fear. No more going back. Sometimes, last birth itself such courage comes. Recently I heard a Mahatma telling his own story. He said, I wanted to be a sannyasi and I was 9 years old. And there was a great Mahatma in our village. My mother told him, he wants to become a sadhu, Maharaj. What to do? He is only 9 years old. And the Guru told my mother, leave him with me 1 week. He will come back. And my mother asked me to go with that Mahatma. And I stayed with him. No food, no water from morning to afternoon. By 3 o'clock I will get some roti or something, chawal. Then nothing, no food. Every day go to the Ganga and take water, that's all. Take bath, early morning 2 o'clock he will wake me up. Go to Ganga, take bath. And he will sit in japa, dhyana, and by afternoon some roti, something, that's all. 2 to 3 o'clock. After 1 week, my parents were expecting me, nothing happened. Thus, 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed. 4th week, the master called him. 2 o'clock woke him up and he said, you have no more another birth. Here I give you Panchakshara, take it. The Panchakshara was given. When the month was about to end, the Panchakshara was given. He said, you will have no more birth. And in your former births also you were born, for 3 births you were born in very sacred Vedic family. Otherwise it is impossible to be like this. Take this. Because the data of former suffering is so intense that the mind is prepared, ready for receiving that wisdom. And that kind of satpatra, we call satpatra, pure vessel, sacred, holy vessel, which can receive it. Receive that knowledge, that holy knowledge is needed. That is adhikara, what they call. That is the prerequisite, that is nalla arivu. And when that nalla arivu, auspicious knowledge is there, you walk away from pullarivu. The master said, this Mahapurusha said, I stayed with my master because I found it is better to fast than going to school. Because that is pullarivu. That is worthless knowledge, eating junk food. It is better to fast than eating junk food. Fasting is better. So I will rather fast, staying in the satsanga, than going back to the world where you will be forced to eat vidam. Talai patridum vidam. The poison which will corrupt not your simply body but will soon reach your head. Will corrupt your thinking. Will pollute your understanding. Will put an end to this sacred Tirtha Yatra. So I don't want that wrong knowledge anymore. Arunachala, give me nallarivu. No more pullarivu. Give me that true knowledge by which strength, courage will come, shanti will come, and pure juice of love will come, bhakti will come. And I will have that sthita prajnatva in this world. Whatever may be my prarabdha, the prarabdha is different for everyone. So whatever may be my prarabdha, let the knowledge help me to abide in my real nature without getting disturbed by the force of prarabdha. That is the message of Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna says, I will not fight. Krishna said, what to do? This fighting is your prarabdha. Today you may walk out, wherever you go, this battlefield will happen around you. So better don't say neither no or nor yes to prarabdha. Stay in yourself. Don't speak about the prarabdha. Let it be there. You be in your heart, where Atma Samstham Manah Kritva Na Kinchitapi Chintayet. Make the mind abide in the self and do not initiate any thought. And there you will find freedom, and that knowledge which gives you such real true freedom is nallarivu. True knowledge, liberating knowledge, that knowledge which will make you free, that knowledge which will heal you all your problems, that knowledge which will make you centered in yourself, will not make you catch hold of the currents in the orbit. The moment you touch some current, you will go round. That is one birth. You stay in the center where there is Puranatva. You move away from the body which has this nauseating odor of ignorance. Nauseating smell of ignorance. Bhumanam, Mamanam, Puranamanam Kola, Puranamanam Arul Arunachala. Bhagavan says, Arunachala, rid my mind of all the worldly smells. Make me gain the fragrance of Brahman, and by your grace unite me non-dually with you. Purana manam kola. Manam means in Aksharamanamalai. Akshara means letters. Mana means wedding. Tirumanam is wedding. Malai means garland. A garland made of letters, a wedding garland made of letters is Aksharamanamalai to Arunachala. And you can make another meaning also. Akshara means that which is indestructible. Naksharatiti Aksharam. And Bhagavan said the Atma is Aksharam. It is shining forth in the heart. And one who knows that is real Sakshara, literate. Ekam Aksharam, Hridi Nirantaram, Bhasate Swayam, Likyate Katham. Bhagavan said that non-dual Aksharam is shining forth in the heart. How to write it? And the manam, the fragrance of that Aksharam, that fragrance of Atma is Aksharamanamalai, Malai garland. So, Puranamanam, Bhagavan here says Puranamanam, that the fragrance of Purnatva. Bhagavan's fragrance is right there in Ramanacharana, even now you go there. Bhagavata says, when the nose, there is no cold, you will easily smell all fragrant flowers. Like that, when the mind has no cold, the mind has no dosha, jala dosha, and the mind has avidya dosha. When that dosha is removed, it smells the Atma. Vataratam Yogaratam Chetaha Atmanam Anujigrati. The mind which is purified by yoga, it smells the Atma. It intuits the self. That is why it's just put as smelling, fragrant. Bhagavan's smell also Puranatva. One devotee sang, Punnolir Vadivinane Purana Vadanatane Tannarum Swanubhuti Dharayalam Manakayezhai Unnarum Pughazhai Kettum Ulagalam Thedi Vandhen Yennarul Iraye Jnana Ramanane Jyotikundre. He called Ramana as Jyotikundra. Ramana, you are the hill of this effulgence. Jnana Ramana. And Dharayalam Manaka, the entire earth is fragrant with your Swanubhuti, with your Atmanubhuti. So that Atmanubhuti is smelling everywhere. It's fragrant everywhere, that Purana Manam. So Bhagavan here says that let that Purana Manam comes. If I have Purana Manam, there will be Purana Manam. If I can become completely one with you, without keeping even a thread outside, even a thread, see, if you take a needle and want to put a thread inside the needle, then even a little bit of that thread protrudes, it cannot enter. Like that, the mind becomes completely one with the self. That aikyam is one with the self, Puranamanam. I become completely yours and you become one with me. Neither I exist nor you exist, only that one non-dual truth exists. To attain that Purana Manam, let my Bhumanam disappear. My mind is filled with the smell of earth. That Bhumanam is the smell of earth, means worldly attachments, worldly desires, the pleasures of the world. The smell of the world is too much. Bhumanam ma manam. My mind full of vasanas, impressions of the world. Purana manam kolla. Let the mind get that Puranatva. Means the mind is the vasanas. It's what is the mind made of? Constantly thinking about me, this self-image and its little problems. Small achievements, attainments. Remembering all its past problems. Thinking about the future problems. And about others, this person, that person. And the basic problem with it is I am the body. And others are also body. And I am the doer. I enjoy. This is diagnosed as the fundamental problem of the mind. And when that fundamental problem is removed, the mind has no route to move because there is no I. So the mind knows only one way to start the talk, that is I. If the I itself is plucked out, now the mind has no alphabet starting with A. No A. Then it cannot go to B. Then it cannot C. Over. So the whole thing is over. So it is, the mind has absorbed that Brahmakara vritti. As Bhagavan says, Brahmakara vritti. Means everything is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. Brahman alone is there. Sarvam khalu idam Brahma. It has become a state of the mind, not a statement. The statement has become the state where the mind is convinced that, Bhagavan says in one place, what to do? I don't see anyone. I don't see any world. It does not mean that he is not seeing the world. It means he says, Ponnukku veraha bhushanam ullatho. Only gold exists. With that you call it bracelet, you call it ring, you call nose ring, you call it crown, bangles. It is all gold. The jnani also see the name, form, bracelet, everything is known, but it is gold. Like that, the basic stuff is that pure self. The more and more you become familiar with that, the mind absorbs that knowledge. The knowledge becomes so real to the knowledge that the power of that knowledge is much higher than your knowledge of the world. Now the problem is, people ask, even though we know, why we forget? Because the knowledge is not potent enough to overpower worldly knowledge. Nallarivu is not potent enough to overpower pullarivu. So whatever you may do, practical life overpowers spiritual knowledge. This is the exact thing. When you have to do practical living, you find all this Vedanta is useless. Because practical life has more viryam than your self-knowledge. When your self-knowledge gathers more viryam than practical life, then you are for danger. Because Yeah. Then that viryam, the Upanishad, Atmana Vindate Viryam, right from the self, right from the center, you fuel yourself with viryam. And that viryam is the power to overpower ignorance. Ignorance will be constantly whispering with you that world is real, problems are there, this person is there, that person is there, you are a doer, you are an enjoyer, attachment is practical, aversion is practical, you cannot live with this. All these informations your own mind will tell, mobile will tell, others will tell, newspaper will tell, television will tell, constant chaos around to convince you that some psychiatrist people they do, no? Constantly tell him, in the, I know, some bombarding thing, constantly telling you that this is because so much effort is needed to keep the ignorance alive. You leave all this effort, ignorance will go, because the power of the self is so much that I told 3 days back, the ignorance is kept alive with so much adventure. It is just like balancing a ball in your nose. That is what Sureshwaracharya says. It is like balancing a ball in your nose. Any time it will fall, but with all your schools, your family, your friends, your gadgets, the so-called scientific development, such a huge international institution is functioning to keep you and I ignorant. One day leave, you will become enlightened. That is why Bhagavan said, Aye atisulabham atma vidya. Somewhere you find a gap, you become enlightened. So it is not that enlightenment is difficult. With so much difficulty, so many props are created to keep this ignorance in its place, to keep the ball in the nose, so that the ball will not fall. The moment you remove one stick from there, the ball will fall. When you see through this play, when you grow wise enough to walk out, of course, all others will be against you, because they don't want you to. The circus company will close. So they don't want you to go out. The whole circus company is working because you are able to manage the ball in your nose. The company will close if the ball falls. So everyone will be against you, but you know the buffoon will be always having a ball in his nose, right? In circus you have seen. So the day you recognize that you are becoming a buffoon here, the day you recognize that unnecessarily I am becoming a buffoon, I have to walk out, then you just leave the ball to fall. You need not even touch the ball. You have to just allow the ball to fall. Then you will walk out. Then you will find that Puranamanam Kola. You become one with the infinite. You are one with the infinite in the beginning. You will be one with the infinite in the end. Even now, you are one with the infinite. Simply, a hypnosis is functioning. Hypnotism is functioning, which is telling you you are a separate individual. You are a Jiva. That Jiva Bhava alone is given up by Shravana, by listening. The power of the listening is that when you come here, you come as a person. When you go out with so much bravery, courage, that you are walking out as Brahman. You are walking out as Purana. That Puranatva, don't forget. If you gather this state now, don't allow the mind to again function in duality. Then that freedom is yours. This is, Bhagavan says, Purana Manam Kola Arunachala. Very auspicious song with which we have come to an end this year. Arunachala, give me that Purana Manam. Give me that absolute oneness with you. No more this Jiva Bhava. No more this I, you, he. Only that Purnatva. In that Purnatva, let the fragrance of Shanti waft around, pervade everywhere. And that is Arunachala Aksharamanamalai. Wear this garland in your neck and live in the world. Wear this garland of Arunachala Aksharamanamalai in your neck, and you will have no more fear. Bhiti ill. Then you will have Puranamanam, that absolute full Shanti, Samadhi in your heart. So with this, we will offer these flowers, the true flowers, to Arunachala. Bhagavan has offered this Aksharamanamalai, these fragrant flowers, garland made of fragrant flowers, to Arunachala. The same fragrant flowers we will offer to Arunachala Shiva. Before concluding, we will say one more thing, that so many of you have come from many places, many countries. It's a very rare confluence. That from so many corners of the world, many have come with so much longing, thirst. That's why it's a very unique occasion, where we are not here for entertainment or some pleasure seeking. We are here really seeking for this nallarivu, this true knowledge. So your very effort, your very faith, your very seeking will bestow the grace of Arunachala. And this place where we had this satsang, for the longest satsang in Tiruvanamalai, perhaps. We had some Ramayana satsang like this. But Aksharamanamalai, this is the longest series for 10 days. And the area also, Bhagavan has arranged that it's all our devotees here. Their apartments, they found the place right in front of their apartment with so much love. They have worked for this so many days, and you see the effort rewarded, that such a beautiful ambience is there, where we could comfortably sit and listen, and just walk a little bit, you will see the grandeur of Arunachala behind. And so many things, the mic arrangement, the video, which reaches everywhere, These are all done with so much devotion, so much bhakti. So this is Bhagavan's way of expressing his grace. That's all. So he has his own way of doing things. So that he has done here. We are really blessed. To so many years we had this Satsang Aksharamanamalai in Ramanacharana. Now Bhagavan has decided it should happen here, so it is happening here. So this we will see whether we can do like this in next Satsang also, next time also, in the same place. Till then, the other satsangs will be there. You can meditate on what you have heard. And Bhagavan said, for Tirtha introduction, those who read this or those who listen this, they will attain all well-beingness, and that is certain. Tinnam, this is Bhagavan's words. So, with that, we offer this to Arunachala Ramana. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. One more thing. Many people who are asking about Bhagavad Gita, English commentary, that is available here. It's a very elaborate work on Bhagavad Gita that you can get here. Then this satsang was so much blessed by the presence of Ganeshana here. Anna's love and the stories that he have told many about Bhagavan's direct devotees, that has been recorded as Ramana Periya Puranam. That book will be given to devotees as prasad when you go. So that is a very big book with so much stories of devotees who have directly come to Bhagavan. Not only stories, but those with whom Ganeshana has directly interacted, moved closely. So what stories that he has got from them. And his own darshan of Bhagavan, everything is there. So that book will be given as prasada here. So we offer this to Bhagavan now.
Om Tatsadakhyam Purusham Guhesham Bhaktartinashaya Shariravantam. Om Tatsadakhyam Purusham Guhesham Bhaktartinashaya Shariravantam. Modaswarupam Madhurasvabhavam Tvamatmanatham Ramanam bhajami. Tvamatmanatham Ramanam bhajami. Navo navo yo vilasatyajasram Puman Purano Nikhilatma Bhutah Tam Kala Kalam Paripurna Bhavam Tvamatmanatham Ramanam bhajami. Tvamatmanatham Ramanam bhajami.
Yato mamatma bhavasi tvameva tato na vachim mama kinchidasti yatha taveshtam kurumam tathaiva tvam atmanatham ramanam bhaja.